Hello everyone, this is Eric and welcome to my video series on computational science. In this video I'm going to look at getting started with Matlab. Once again, Matlab is a tool that we're using in computational science quite frequently. We are not using it for my current course, but it's an invaluable tool. If you're a scientist, you probably will work with Matlab at some point. Alright, just to get started, Matlab is not free software. There is free software called Octave. And I do recommend trying out Octave if you need free software, if you can't afford Matlab, and it should work very well. However, I will be working with Matlab, and everything I will talk about will refer to Matlab, so things might not work exactly the same in Octave, but it should be close enough where what we're doing here should transfer. At some point in the future, I may make an Octave video, although since I'm using Matlab, I don't really use Octave too frequently. Alright, yeah, for Matlab, it's offered by a company called MathWorks. If you go to the MathWorks website, that's how you're going to get a hold of Matlab. If you are a student, it should be free. Most universities have a site license with Matlab so that you can get it for free. Alright, yeah, so this is the Matlab homepage right here. You can get the most recent version. I'm using a year-old version. Everything should be good enough. Alright, I've got Matlab up and running here. When you run Matlab, you're going to come to your main window, which will look like this. And when you start with Matlab, one thing you're going to notice is you start with an interactive editor. If you type in a mathematical command, it'll give you an answer. And I like to think of this as the interactive calculator. Python has a very similar interface. You can type in your commands, 1 divided by 4, and you get your answer. And if you type in an incorrect command, it'll give you an error, kind of like that. So this is just kind of the general MATLAB interface. Whatever you want to type in, x equals 3, there you go. We have the interactive usage here. A lot of what we're going to do for programming will involve having a program. There's a way to make a program file. You can actually right click in this little window to the left, and you can go to, if we click, we can go to new file, and you can choose to make a script, a function, or some other stuff. Most of the time when we're creating programs, we're either making scripts or functions in MATLAB. In other programming languages, just to compare, you might have a whole bunch of functions in one Python file. Typically in MATLAB, you have one file per function. So let's look at a script I've already made. I called it program. Now the first two lines are just simple statements like 1 plus 1 and 42. If we run this program, we can actually split our screen, and we'll make everything as big as possible. What you'll see here is you'll see that the program was run using just the command program in the terminal, and it executed the commands one at a time. Now in MATLAB, something interesting is if you put a semicolon at the end of a line, it won't be print. The results won't be printed. So 1 plus 1 gives us a result of 2. If we put the semicolon and we run it, we're not going to see the 2 showing up. So the 42 and the 1, or the 42 and the 1 plus 1, we can suppress that output with a semicolon. When you're working with large matrices, you don't always want to print it to screen. I've actually ran into instances where printing something to screen would cause a program that would normally take a few seconds to take minutes. Alright, so this is just a simple program. Now, when you're displaying things to the screen, you can either use the display command, or you can use fprintf. Now, fprintf will use some C-style formatting techniques for printing. It's very useful if you're familiar with C, and it does allow you to have kind of nicer output. By using fprintf, I can say x equals 2.4 all on one line. If I do display x, what the display x is going to do when we run it is it's going to have x equals, and we're going to have a line, and then 2.4. It's all personal preference how you want to display. But in general, in MATLAB, we can either use a program file, or we can use the interactive editor, and there are two different ways to work with MATLAB. Throughout the semester, or really through the course that I'm uploading, I hope to look at the different techniques. Most of the time, I don't print to screen in MATLAB. I use it for generating figures or doing computation. That's everything for MATLAB today. Keep on coding.